All right, so this one actually took me longer than I thought it was going to. And who am I? Who's talking? Who's the voice behind this video? I'm Neil from masterpaintingnow.com. Check it out, links in the description. Let's get started. So this is an old painting I did, and it's not bad. It's not like horrible, right? I mean, it's not horrible. Like, okay, let's be honest. Like, no one's gonna spend $200-300 for this for a book cover or something, right? But if I turn it into that, bam! Well, yeah, they just might be like, yeah, I want that. That's my book cover. Well, let's say they told me they wanted octopus woman, right? Octopus queen, you know, sexy woman riding an octopus. That's what they want. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And then, you know, I spend the time painting it and I deliver them that. They're like, oh, okay. Like, yes, I paid you like $300. Like, this is not bad, but I mean, well, bam! No, I was just kidding. Psych, check that out. They're like, oh, cool. Yeah, that's worth the money. Well, how did I do that? How did I get that to that? Well, let me tell you the story. Here's how I did it. So I cheated. Now, it's not as easy as just like pop in a prompt and mid journey and you get that. That's not going to happen. But here's how it happened. So it kind of went like this. I kind of took the piece into Invoke AI, and I start selecting pieces, and I start telling it, hey, let's make this look better, right? And so I set it on a low thing over here, and I put a little thing up here, description. And I tell it what I want it to kind of look like, and I put it on Dreamlike Diffusion. I'm like, oh, let's do this, and then it starts rendering it out, right? And as it's rendering it out, I'm like, that's looking pretty good, but oh man, what happened to this? There's no eyes, man. This is not an octopus anymore. It does that sometimes. That's fine, whatever. It's kind of messed up looking, but we'll fix all that. So I just kind of look at her skin. What is going on here? That's fine. It's part of the process. So then I go and I start selecting individual areas. I'm like, let's get this face looking right. And I just kind of tell it Jessica Alba and, do it a few times. And eventually it gives me a decent looking face. I'm like, yeah, that's not bad. And then you save it out, and then you put it back in, and I take it in over here to. I'm telling a story about what I'm doing. Why am I saying you do as if it's a tutorial? This is a story, god damn it! So I take it back into the Paint Storm, which I love. It's my favorite painting program ever. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. They actually did have me create some tutorials for them, but that's beside the point. Anyway, so I come in here, start painting some stuff, try and make it look better. Got some stuff wrong, so we just got to fix some of this shit, and it'll eventually get it right. So it's like, yeah, let's kind of just tell it this, that, the other thing. Put the leg in front. Really, really sloppy painting, like way, way, way worse than the original. You just got to tell it. And how do you tell it? How do you tell it things? You can't talk to it. It's not Chat GPT. You have to paint. You tell it by painting, right? So I'm like, that's what an eye looks like. Okay, that's an eyeball. That's supposed to be an eyeball, and that's just really quick painted, and it kind of looks like an eyeball. And now it's going to know, hey, those are eyeballs. So you need to make those eyeballs, and hopefully it'll work. We'll see. I think it will. In my mind, I'm thinking, I think it'll understand those are eyeballs. Like, they look enough like eyeballs that I think the AI will go, yeah, those are eyeballs. I get it. And then I took the original part there and I just slapped it on there and did some tweaking on it because I want the AI to turn that to something cool because it was already turning it to something funky. Sometimes AI doesn't listen. You got to slap it around a few times, like whatever. And so now I'm selecting this whole thing now. And actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to select parts of it, and I'm going to try to get a hand. So I'm just trying to get a hand generated. I just have the hand selected. I'm like, hey, that looks cool. That's a cool looking hand. I probably should have saved that for later, but I didn't. And then look at this. What is it doing down here? Like it can't see it. That's the problem. It's too dark. So I should have made it more clear by drawing it. And so it doesn't know what it's doing down there, and so that's fine. We'll just kind of generate the stuff up here for a little while. And I generate the face, and I'm like, that's looking pretty, okay, and I'm starting to think, oh man, is this piece even doable? I'm like, wait a minute. That body's looking pretty fly though, so I'm thinking we might be able to do something with all this. I'm gonna bring back in once again. So I take it in my paint program. I like what it's doing. I like how it's generating stuff. But I'm gonna take the underside of my original painting again for the octopus legs and try to get it to make octopus legs correctly. So I get it to generate another hand there, and I'm gonna. What am I doing? Okay, here we go. All right, so. I'm back in the paint program, and I'm going to kind of tell it that's not supposed to be whatever you're doing there. So let's turn this back to the octopus. So sometimes it does that. Sometimes it starts geeking out, and if you don't change it, if you don't, like, look at this, look what it's doing over here. If you don't fix that, it'll keep building on this, and then next thing you know, it turns into an alien or something, and you don't want that. So you got to go back and paint over it real fast and just give it. I just did some really quick, just lines. Like, that's all I did. I just painted, did some lines so it knows this is part of the octopus. I want it to look like the octopus, and it will understand that, and then it'll do it. And over here, I just said, hey, that's supposed to be the octopus's head, so let's make that look like the head here, and draw some lines on it. Bam! Now it knows that's the head, right? It can kind of see the pattern continues, and that's looking good. And then I did some there, and then I'm gonna kind of paint out some of this bottom down here, and I'm going to kind of make it look stronger. I'm going to give it some stronger indications, some hard lines that it can see, and hopefully now it's going to give me something that I want down there. All right, so once that's done, go back into Invoke AI, select just this area down here, and I'm going to tell it, like, this is a few fish underwater. And first I had it, generate the bottom part of the tentacles. I told octopus, and now I'm like telling it, here's some fishes. Just kind of paint some, literally, look at that. Like, just paint some shapes that look kind of like fishes, and then you just tell it these are fishes, and look at that, bam, it turns them into fishes. And I'm like, I only like those fishes, and then I tell it, oh yeah, those are cool. So I upped the strength over here, and I got some different looking stuff. I'm like, that's cool. I like those fishes. So let's. I know they're not fishes. They're fish. They're fish. I get it. Now I had some birds up here in the background, and I think I forgot to paint them out. You want to do that, because otherwise it starts turning them into spacecraft and shit. And I mean, unless you're cool with that, then you have to just keep. Anyway, just get rid of the birds and then add them afterwards. So that hand is goofy. So I just paint the hand over it, and I tell it, hey, turn this into a hand. And like the knee was looking goofy, so I said, this is supposed to be a knee, so let's make that a knee. And it's like, all right, Mr. Master, I am your render, slave, and I will do that for you. And it does it. So everything's starting to look good, but man, she has a lot of water on her body, right? So I'm gonna have to fix that. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, And look at it, it's still goofed up the head over here. So sometimes you just, I gave it too much strength, but I really wanted to see what this water looked like. And sometimes, you can do compositing. So you turn the strength up, and you're like, ooh, I really like this aspect, all this garbage, but this is cool. You save that out. You then grab this little piece right here, and then you composite it in by erasing around it. And that just becomes that part only. And amazing, right? So you don't have to keep everything that it does. You can just keep one thing it does and composite it all together. So I'm kind of looking back and forth to these two images. I kind of like that, but I kind of don't. But I kind of like the water. And so I can take some of that water and I can use it. I don't end up doing that, though, but I could have. And that's the point. So everything's starting to look good. I'm liking the clouds in the background. It's starting to do a decent job under here. This is looking cool. I can kind of read that as an octopus underwater. These look like fish. The water looks, it's all looking good. Like, this is cool. It's starting to look like a piece that's worth money. And so I go up here, the face again. We haven't really gone into higher definition yet. So I was over here. I was at 50 steps, and at this here, you don't want to be that. You want to be on, well, I think it says K / Euler A, and then put it to 30 steps. That's the default. That's what I work at now. It's awesome. Works great. I rarely change it. And it's faster. So her face is still funky, but that's fine, because I know that the faces always look messed up when they're tiny. So this face is so tiny, and the resolution is not very big yet. So I need to make the resolution very, very big, like 4,000 pixels tall. And then that face is still pretty tiny, though. So when the face is taking up so little real estate on the entire image, in order for it to start looking right, you really have to bump it up in high resolution. And I'm like, hey, this is looking pretty good. I kind of like, ooh, the octopus is crazy looking, though. But I kind of liked it. I just want to go to a high. I just bumped this up. I just want to see what would happen if I bumped it up. I was like, let's just see what happens. Sometimes it gives you some really cool components you can use, but I didn't like any of it, so that's fine. Just went back to here, painted underneath here. I'm trying to tell it these are There you go. Octopus tentacles. It finally understood it. So that's good stuff, man. You did great. You got my octopus tentacles there going on, so that's fantastic. And it's looking good, and we're getting close to being done. So I'm feeling pretty happy at this point. All right, but for some reason I still have 3 videos left, and I don't know why yet. So I go through the face a couple times. I've changed the fishes. I know they're not fishes, they're fish, but whatever. I did like the skin, so I took it into the paint program and I just kind of painted over and erased some of what I didn't like because some of these dots were just too much. But I liked how it looked wet. I liked how the body looked. So I'm like, I really want that. And so I'm going to keep it. This is the compositing aspect of it. And then I just kind of paint over some of the dots I don't want. And then I'm going to take it back in to invoke AI and then tell it, hey, make the skin look really super nice again. And it does. You just select the skin and then it turns the skin into something awesome. At this stage, I'm liking how everything's going. I'm thinking, cool. It's all easy breezy from here. Now it's just about experimenting, seeing what I like and don't like. Let's add some lightning. Then I go tell it, I literally just scribble some lightning in there. And then I tell it, that's lightning. And it goes, yeah, I know what that is. And then boom, it's lightning. But I don't like it, so I decide that's too much. It's too busy. I'm not going to do it. And at this point, I just take it over to this upscale media thing. Upscale it, but I actually don't have to do this because there's actually a good upscaler. Sometimes this does a better job though, but there's actually a pretty good upscaler built right into Invoke AI, so you can just use that to upscale it. And besides, this only upscales so much. Invoke AI, you can upscale away to like 6,000 if you want to. So I scaled it up because we needed more resolution for the face. Basically, that's the only reason. Everything was fine, but the face just wasn't good enough. And so, and besides, if you're going to deliver something to client, you want it to be about, 4,000. If it's landscape, 4,000 wide. If it's a portrait, 4,000 tall. If it's a square, 4,000 wide, 4,000, or even 5,000. But 4,000 is plenty big to print, but you might want to bump it up to 5,000, especially if they ask. And so here I do some tricks. I try Megan Fox. Usually it works, but it's not working. Try Scarlett Johansson. Works fantastic. So she often works great. But it doesn't look like her. That doesn't matter. It's not the point. The point is just to get a nice looking face. It doesn't have to look like her. I put on low strength so that it wouldn't look like her. And then I'm like, cool, everything's looking good. I use this little trick here. So you go into Photoshop, use the I don't know, neural something filters it's called, and then you use the smart portrait and you do eye direction and you just like turn it by 1 degree and it will fix your eyes for you. And then you could you can actually make her look different directions. Look at that. I can make her look straight at us instead of looking to the right. You can make her look left or right. It's pretty awesome. And so once you have that done, then I'm pretty much done. At this stage, I'm like, finally done. But I'm not done. The hand. And hey, you know what? If you're still watching, do me a favor, hit the like button. But also, if you're still watching and you like this and you want the real-time version of it where I teach all this stuff step by step, well, why not get my course? My new course shows how to cheat your way to the top using AI and make amazing art and get paid for it. I'm getting paid for my art. You should be getting paid for your art too. So here, the hand's looking all right. I can actually go and paint over this hand and it'll probably be awesome. And that would be done. And then take it back into AI and maybe run it over on a low definition. I think those boobs are fine. I don't think YouTube is going to care about that, right? But here's what I do. I wanted to show. I could have painted it, but I wanted to show how easy this technique is. Go to Dad Studio. You take the hand, you pose it, you render it out, you take it into here, you line it up. You can save it as a PNG. By default, that's what it saves as. That way, you don't have to erase the background. It's just already there is no background. You line it up, erase. You then select it, that layer, you go into the adjustments, you adjust, it's like an adjust the colors thing that you have in Photoshop, similar to that. Then I paint some of these colors right onto the hand, and I kind of paint the hand very, very sloppily, but my agi, I'm not trying to, you could just sit there and render the hand out, but the greater, the more realistic the overall piece that you're doing is, the more work it is because you have to match that style. I didn't want to do that, so instead what I did is I just kind of paint over the hand sloppily, and then I go over and invoke AI and I tell it that's a hand, and it goes okay, and then I generate on low strength and it gives me a hand, and I do it a few times and bam, now I just got to take this back one more time and paint over it just to make sure everything looks good. Give those final little bit of details, and then bam, I'm going to fix the hair up a little bit. So basically I just, in Invoke AI, you just kind of select the hair and you tell it, hair. The bikini top, I just select the bikini top and I didn't like it. See, I didn't like that bikini top. Watch this. You don't like a bikini top? Traditionally, when you're not cheating, you have to paint an entire at the bikini top, which takes you an hour or however long. Or worse yet, you give it to the client. The client's like, no, that's doo-doo. I like everything, but that bikini top, that is doo-doo. You got to change it. And you're like, man, you know how long it's going to take me? But watch how long it takes me. Literally seconds. So you just select the bikini top, and then over here you tell it bikini top. You can even describe the kind of bikini top you want, the brand you want, and it might give you something similar to that. Look at that. Boom. Bam. Done. Just like that. I like it. I'm like, okay, cool. I like that. Now, if you want a different color, sometimes you can tell it that, but sometimes you have to paint over it really fast. Do a quick paint over or a quick color change, like I did with the gloves on that. Anyway, it's pretty easy. Just like make a selection, go to the, color changing option and change it up, and then bring it back in here, and then, tell it bikini top, and it gives you something cool. So there you go. I changed the bikini top. It's good, and everything's working great. By the way, one other thing I actually did to her is I added glasses because I was, she's in the sun. I don't know. It just seems like it'd be cool if I added glasses to her. It was really easy to do. You literally just, that's before and after. Look at that. Just select it and draw glasses. And tell it glasses, and bam, you got glasses. So there it is, folks. You want to see the glasses? I mean, might as well. It's already been 15, 16 minutes. So I have to pause it whenever I go look at the images because, a lot of them are not safe for work. So YouTube doesn't like that. Here's one of Jesus casting out demons. Thought that was kind of cool, using similar techniques. And so here it is. Everything else is the same except, look at the hand. The hand came out pretty damn good. Look at those glasses. Boom. Literally all I did is I just drew on glasses. Just drew them like circles, line, line, line. And then I selected this area and I said sunglasses. And I just iterated a few times and boom, sunglasses. That simple. So fantastic stuff. And then I added some birds. And yeah, look at these fish. Awesome. So do me a favor, like the video. It takes a lot of work to make these things. Look at this guy I did. You want to know how to do this guy? It's really not that hard. I can show you some cool techniques on how to get something crazy like this. Or what would you like to see? Let me know. What do you want to see? Put it in the description, comment. All right. Not in the description, in the comments. I'm tired. Bye.